Now, with Discover Student Loans, parents can have the best of both worlds. Not only do our loans cover up to 100% of school-certified costs with zero fees, but we'll give them a cash reward for each new student loan if they earn at least a 3.0 GPA or equivalent. That means every A in history or B in math could help them earn a cash reward for good grades. Just one of the many ways we treat you like you'd treat you. Apply now in 15 minutes or less at discoverstudentloans.com. Limitations apply.
At the United States Postal Service, we don't just carry your product to its destination. We deliver your business, representing you and all of your hard work with pride. It's almost as if you're the one showing up to the customer's door, greeting them with a smile. Because when you ship with the United States Postal Service, your business becomes our business. That's why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone else in the country. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
The following program is a paid presentation. The views and or opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of KWAM. Welcome to the Variety Hour, where local leaders talk Memphis.
Listen to you move your mouth. I bet you come from way down south. Now don't tell me, let me guess, you from the town that I love best. Talk Memphis, I wish you would. Talk Memphis, you sound so good. Talk Memphis, high on the bluff. I swear I can't get enough. Listening to you talk that stuff. Talk Memphis, oh yeah. Talk Memphis.
This is the Memphis Real Estate Hour with your host, Dean Harris, on KWAM. And now, here's your host, Dean Harris.
All right, good morning, everybody. I am Dean Harris. I'm the host here of the Memphis Real Estate Hour. Appreciate you joining us. I'm with CrestCore Realty over on Summer Avenue. Thank you guys for tuning in here at the new FM 107.9, The Voice. You can also stream the show live on the interwebs. Get on the interweb at kwam990.com. Shame on you if you can't find a way to hear the show today. So we're on Facebook Live as well. This is something that we're really excited about doing. We have been doing this for now, I guess, 2 months or so. So we're the feedback and the response that we're getting from Facebook Live is great. I'd encourage you guys to go to the Facebook page today. Shoot us some questions. I'll try to answer them live on the radio. If I can't, I'll certainly answer them after the show. I want to remind you guys that the Memphis Real Estate Hour concentrates on investing in Memphis real estate. We will focus on our residential real estate market as well. We'll discuss the topics ranging from just how to get started in investing and to diving into the most complex, topics that we can come up with. So the show will kind of go to the level of where the listeners want it to go. So we're pretty flexible with that. We can dumb it down to very beginner stuff, or we can get as advanced as you'd like to. Also remind you every show that I am an investor. If you have that old home that you need to sell quickly, or if you inherited it, someone you know that needs to sell a home quickly, give me a call. It's 901-619-6170, and I'll get you a cash offer on that home today. Last week's show, we had a real interesting group. Chelsea White and Brian Behringer, they're the co-founders of Proxbox. Gil, we're familiar with Proxbox.
Indeed we are. It really is such like a cool idea it really is taking the idea of looking for a house into, today's time.
It's amazing that you can pull up to a home now, and on the outside of the home, you can, with your app, you can get the information on the home without even getting out of your car.
Yes.
We used to have to get up and go get that flyer. And like they mentioned last week, the rain or whatever it might be.
Sometimes they're all gone.
They're all gone. You have no idea.
For the house.
Now you're pulling up with this app, and you're literally sitting there outside. Whether it's at a rental home you have or a retail home that you're selling, you can get all the information.
And as a seller, you don't have to worry about printing stuff out, going to a printer and printing out all these tickets for a house.
That's right, man. No, we were really excited to have them on. Chelsea White, Brian Behringer, the co-founders of Proxbox. You can check them out at proxbox.me. Go to that website and see what all we're talking about. Today's show rundown looks like this. I'm going to give you the investment of the week in a few minutes, or free money, as we like to call it.
Are you looking if there's a cash? There you go. That is it.
So we will get you some free money here with our investment of the week. I'll have a retail listing of the week this week as well. I'll give you that. At 8:30, we've got Wendy Greenlaw with Chandler Reports. She's coming on to do our Memphis Market Watch. We always enjoy having her. And then, of course, we won't forget Mr. Dan Butler.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're happy to have him today. We'll jump into the 3 deadly sins of real estate investing. So this will be some good information for you today. So let's get right to it. The investments of the week. If you guys want to grab your pens, grab your markers, write it in blood, whatever it takes.
Empty your wallet to get ready for all that new money.
That's right. All this free money I'm about to pass out. Okay, 2311 Imogene Street. This is in 38114. I really like this zip code. It bumps right up to Orange Mound. A great little rental pocket. Imogene is 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. It is occupied at $500 a month, and the list price is $26,900. That's tough to beat. It's a lower end rental property. A lot of people have their threshold, but to me, for $26,900, even if you paid full price for the property, $500 a month, this is an excellent return. Solid rental. It's a brick home, 3 bedroom, 1 bath. So call me if you've got questions about these. 901-619-6170. Number 2 today is 5425 Lochinvar. That's over in 38116. This is in Whitehaven. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath home. It's listed for it's rented for $720. It's listed for $720. We could probably sell that today, I think.
Before you leave the
building, before I get done with this segment, really. Okay, 5425 Lochinvar, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's listed for $49,900, and we're occupied at $720. This is a fantastic deal. You don't normally find 3 bedrooms and 2 baths for under $50,000 over in Whitehaven. So this one is also one that I'd grab up fairly quick. And then last but not least, I've got 854 Carol Ann Cove. This is up in Fraser, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, $585 a month, and it's listed. That's the rent, $585 a month. It's occupied. Sales price is $31,900. That's a great one up there too. Brick home, 3 beds, 1 bath. So call me. This is a package of 1 of 9. So the Carol Ann Cove is stuck with a package. I imagine the seller will one-off, but call me with your questions on these guys. 854 Carol Ann, $31,900, $585 per month. 2311 Imogene Street, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. It's occupied at $500 a month. That's $26,900. And then last but not least, 5425 Lochinvar, Lochinvar, Lochinvar. $49,900. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's occupied at $720. We do have a residential retail listing of the week. One of my clients has found a home over in Whitehaven. That's a great little residential area, but I'm about to give you probably the deal of the century. It's 2,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. It's 1057 Whitehaven Lane, and the list price is $129,900. So you're getting 2,600 square feet of a remodeled, renovated property over in Whitehaven with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths, listed at $129,900. So that's a great property over there. If you're listening, you are looking in the Whitehaven area, great little home. Just give me a call about any of these, whether it's the investment properties or it's the retail. Give me a call. 901-619-6170 is my cell phone. So, let me see. Got you both of those. I have got Wendy Greenlaw is in the studio with us this morning. I'm always excited to have Wendy. She is with Chandler Reports, guys, and she comes in, gives us a whole lot of the market detail as far as our investments, as far as retail and sales or things like that are going. She sponsors, and Chandler Report sponsors the Market Watch. Subscribe to their free Pulse Report at chandlerreports.com to get the latest updates on all local real estate trends. I've learned to lean on Chandler Reports when I can't find comps, if I've got investors that are looking in different areas of town, and if they're looking in areas where there's not a whole lot of retail comps and activity, we lean on on Wendy for this. So, Wendy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. You squeezed right in here.
I
Good
know.
time.
Dropped off at daycare and ran right here.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's good. Well, we're happy to have you. Tell us a little bit about it's been a few weeks since you've been on.
Yeah, so I have some Q2 numbers for you. Second quarter numbers
Let's do
are
it.
out. I've got the investor data set, investor purchases. There were 980 investor purchases in the second quarter. That's down 8%.
Is it really?
From the second quarter of last year. 19% of all home sales were investor purchases. So we're seeing that number go down and decline a little bit. The average price was up 5% to about $73,000 on those from the second quarter of last year. And 41% of those were out-of-town buyers. So we're still seeing 40 and above are out-of-town buyers.
So our investment deals are going or have shrunk a little bit, but the,
Right.
the percentage of those are still 41% from out-of-town investors.
Right.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know that we've seen a dip. I know I haven't. I'm about to pull my hair out, but
Well, and a lot of people think, oh, that's just hedge funds buying. And no, it's not. It's local investors selling off to people that live all over the world.
That's right. Yeah, we don't deal with a ton of the huge hedge funds.
Right.
They're buying 100,000 and over normally.
And we've seen that decline a little bit as far as their purchasing. So.
Have you? Most of ours are below 100,000, but we're not.
Right.
I'm not seeing a huge slowdown. I mean, we don't. I've got people every
Lined
day
up.
that lined up that are waiting on them. So good. What else we got?
So the hot spots, the top 5 zip codes for purchases are the typical ones. We've got Raleigh and Fraser. We've got your favorite 38118. They had 92 sales. They were number 2 on the list.
Yeah. See, I know the word's getting out.
Yeah.
You let
I thought you
everybody-
sold them all.
This radio show's gone just nuts, so I know everybody's wanting to get on the zip codes.
So the other 2 were Westwood's 38109 and then Whitehaven.
Westwood was up there.
Yep. It was
It had some of the
it's
highest
number 4.
foreclosure, I think you told us a while back.
Yeah.
So that probably
Well,
makes
they have the
sense.
most foreclosure inventory.
Right.
And they've been maintaining that above Fraser, which we saw Fraser at the top of the list for years. And
yeah.
so that's changed
It's interesting.
in the last couple of years to Westwood.
Yeah, that is odd because like when I hear people talk about 38109 from an investor standpoint, it's like, it needs to be a really good deal. But that's amazing. They must be getting really good deals then.
Well, the average price. So the average price for Fraser's like $25,000. The average price in Westwood's $33,000.
That's interesting. Those numbers.
Rate
are great,
118
aren't
was
they?
almost $48,000. So
Yeah, now that is
So the
about
50
right.
range, yeah.
I mean, that's what we're buying them for 30 and putting 15 or 20 in them. So that 50,000 range doesn't shock me at all.
yeah.
No. it's
And then one interesting thing from second quarter was June was the first month we've had a decline in average sale price. It was slight. It was just 1%, but that's the first time we've seen them go down in 9 months. So when I looked at sales by price range, trying to figure out where did we have this drop off, high-end home sales were up, and then those sales under 100 have maintained, about 35, 36% of all sales. So the drop off that I found, sales between 250 and 300 were down 9%. So I don't know if there's a lack of inventory of homes in that price point, or if people can't afford it in that price. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the MAR inventory to see what they have on the market in that price range, but that's where the major drop off was, which I found a little interesting.
from 250 to 300.
Yeah. Usually when we see a decline in average sale price when we're in a good market, it's typically because we're lacking those sales over 500, which we call like a luxury home sale.
yeah.
But we were not lacking those. Home sales between 500 and 550 were up, I think, 140%.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Way up.
bumping up in there.
Yeah, it's funny to see how, I guess, different price ranges of when they buy and times of year that they buy. Do you know where those are at?
The 500,000,
Yeah.
I would venture to say Germantown, Collierville.
Yeah, all over.
Yeah. And those new home sales, those are bumping up, prices too.
I was just getting ready to ask you, where are we at on new construction?
So new construction permits are up just a little bit, but the inventory is still very low. We're seeing builders are pulling permits for larger homes and higher end homes over 300,000. And I think, so the average price is at 313,000.
We don't have any, the average new construction price is 313.
Yeah.
We don't have any more of the Adams homes and all this other at 130 to 160, right?
Oh, no.
We don't
No,
see
no,
any
no.
mass production building.
No,
of
you've
those
got
homes.
small pockets where you can find homes, I think, for like 2 to 250.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing anything in those lower price points. And then I went out to one of my Crye Lake offices last week, and they were just saying, all these builders, they have people that want new construction at the lower price point, but all the builders have sold to the hedge funds. So if you drive down the neighborhood, all you see are for rent signs on these new properties no one's ever lived in. So they're having trouble getting their buyers into new homes at that price.
And that limits the desirability of that neighborhood to owner occupants too.
Right.
I'd wondered when this was going to catch up to that price range. I know some other guys selling new construction homes to investors, a lot by the dozens.
Yeah, we have one client that has 40 lots in Cordova, and it's just all for investors.
Why are they doing it? Is it because they guaranteed a sale at the end after they build out?
Yes, they've already sold it before
they've sold
So
it.
they give them a lower rate because they're buying in bulk, right?
Yeah, well, they bought the lots in bulk, and then building it in bulk, and then they've got buyers throughout the U.S. They call it syndicating. They've got these guys that are they've already pre-sold them to dentists, and there's all these different groups that just
buying big pockets of new construction. There's no maintenance. There's no nothing. There's a warranty that comes for a year. So if they're okay,
it's a safe buy for an investor.
If you're comfortable with that 4, 5, 6% return, then that's for you.
Yeah.
Low issues, but that's a whole. We could do a whole show on that.
Yeah.
That's lower return, lot lower issues, headaches.
I never thought about that till you just said that about how that's affecting people that would love to get a starter home, and
they
can't get one because
they're not there.
They're not there because they're being sold to. I mean, it's just the phenomena of just that.
I did a search. I have a client looking in Arlington, and you can maybe chime in on this. I have a client looking in Arlington. I searched yesterday on the MLS from 100,000 to 190 in Arlington. You know how many there were?
2?
7.
Wow.
That's it. Under $200,000 in Arlington.
I believe it.
There's 7.
Yeah.
They've all been bought up by the hedge funds. 2 of them were contingent inspection, and 2 of them the neighborhoods you couldn't rent in there. So truthfully, there were 3 that you could buy if you were an investor.
We need to find a hedge fund manager to come in here for a show and just talk about what's the long term.
Well, that would be interesting because people ask me that all the time because they're frustrated. What's going to be the exit strategy and when is it going to be? Is it going to be 7? You've mentioned 7 to 8 years to me, which I mentioned when I go out on my appointments.
I think that's what their strategy is: 7 to 8 years.
But when are they going to wait till the height of them? Like when are we going to hit the height of our market?
Well, they're already selling. I mean, this is something that I can share with you guys. Like we have a client that actually helps hedge funds sell some of the stuff they don't want.
Right.
But all they're doing is putting it on the web and reselling it one-offs to investors. I mean,
they're going to investors?
Yeah, they're keeping the tenant and they're selling it as a turnkey.
Okay.
So
you've already got the rent,
you're at
your income.
The house has been fixed up, and it's just not matching where they want to be or the price range they want to be. So they're putting on this what they call the open marketplace, and they're selling in like seconds. Like
it's a bond.
I got these guys.
You're buying a bond.
Right.
Yeah, they call me all frustrated. Like, I tried to buy this house, and I was, waited 5 minutes to think about it, and boom, it was already under contract, gone.
See, we were optimistic that the hedge funds, they were going to, reach the height of the market, get all their appreciation out, and then go to a realtor and sell them.
Sell retail.
But if that's not happening, then that's really a major concern as far as inventory.
They're going to pass right over.
That's not what they're doing.
No, they're going to pass right over to another investor.
Well, that's not good news.
Because, see, they get it occupied and performing, and then they go to an open market of another place where these people aren't expecting, and it's a performing asset. It's something that's there, it's cash flowing, and they're going to pass it right on to them. Yeah.
One of the guys that does that, he's coming in town next week, but it's a Thursday. We'll have to try to get him coming on Tuesday of 1 month.
Yeah.
And
see
just
if he can come
the
in.
4 of us have a conversation with him and
if
see where this is going.
30%, over 30% though of all properties in Shelby County are owned by investors, and those investors are never going to turn it back to the regular retail market, then we're going to always have that lack. And then with the new home sales inventory, with those being out of our market, we're going to have a major inventory problem.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Where you could see the shift, and I was asked a question by a banker one time about this, as far as if the values go up enough, the one-off investors would sell that. Like, I would sell everything I got if I could get a 20% premium.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I would be not smart to hold on to it
and
not take advantage of that and redeploy that capital somewhere else. So at some point that might tip if the values go up.
Good.
So where the numbers don't make sense to hold it versus taking that, say 120, now it's worth, you could sell it for 150, then you go redeploy that capital 150 somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because at 150, that numbers don't make any sense to make it a rental anymore.
Right.
Not for us.
Not for, yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got this morning?
The only thing I have, foreclosures keep declining. They're down 7%. Foreclosure notices are down 11%. And at one of my meetings last week, they were talking about some creative funding programs by like Quicken. Pinnacle has one at Wells Fargo where they're doing, no PMI. You can have a lower credit score, not as, with 620, which is
lower
than the THDA
Yeah.
Credit score. So we're keeping an eye on those loans that are being placed and kind of doing some analysis to see if that's going to be a problem down the road, because they're offering, assistance programs for down payment or only 3% down, and 2%
everybody starts getting the
lender.
shakes when the lenders are loosening up their reins. Like, are we going to hit another?
Right, and like a Quicken Loans isn't held to the same standards as the bank.
No.
Like, so can they do different things, and who are the people that are taking those loans? We're seeing them place loans, though, mainly in like suburban areas, Cordova, Arlington, that. But if we get into the inner city and the areas that we've had problems before, the hardest hit from the last foreclosure crisis, then we'll definitely be bringing light.
They're the biggest lender in Shelby County, aren't they?
They are. I just emailed my boss yesterday. So from January to April, they were the top lender in Shelby County for all residential loans. That includes loans at time of sale, HELOCs, and refinances.
Yep.
They haven't really been in the top 10 as far as loans at time of purchase. They're at the top of the 25. They're at the top of the 25 in my top report. Yeah. But they were the top lender in Shelby County for all residential loans for several months. Now they went down to like 2 or 3 in the last couple months.
Yeah, I was aware of that. That's insane, isn't it? An online service.
And I think they rule the Detroit market. Like, that's like
really?
They have,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wendy,
so that's all I have.
That's all you got? Hey, I really appreciate you coming
Thank
in.
you.
Wendy Greenlaw with Chandler Reports. Subscribe to their free Pulse Report at chandlerreports.com. It's always great to have you in here. I appreciate you coming. All right, we're going to take a real quick break, and then Dan and I are going to come back, and we're going to dive right into 3 deadly sins of real estate investing. You guys stay tuned. You're listening to the Memphis Real Estate Hour on FM 107.9, The Voice.
KWAM, now on FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Now here's the Mid-South weather from the News Channel 3 Severe Weather Center, brought to you by Gossett Kia on Covington Pike, family owned and operated.
Continued mostly sunny and hot. Temperatures in the low and mid-90s. Heat index values near 100. Light southerly winds. We'll see temperatures in the mid-90s with heat index values over 100 for the next several days. Is your air conditioner struggling to keep up? Don't wait until it becomes overwhelming. Have Air and Heat Service check your home's cooling system. Call 662-838-8088. 662-838-8088. I'm News Channel 3's Todd Demers on The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Proxbox is a communication and collaboration application for real estate agents and is revolutionizing the market. Proxbox's downloadable app allows buyers to view pertinent information about the house that is provided by the agent and the seller. The app provides pictures so the buyer can view when they get home and also make an offer on the house. More information and quicker service means more deals for the agent. Want to see how it works? Visit proxbox.me.
Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer, PLLC, is a full-service law firm with over 50 years of experience in the Memphis area. Real estate closings have continued to be the forefront of their law practice, which include residential, commercial, and development real estate transactions, drafting and negotiation of real estate contracts and leases, business information, preparation of wills, probate, and estate planning. Their firm represents a number of builders, developers, investors, and local lending institutions, and is approved to close transactions for most local banks and mortgage companies. In addition, they offer title search, title examination services, and title insurance through several well-established title insurance companies in the Memphis area, as well as Tennessee and Mississippi. They strive to offer services in a prompt and timely fashion while advising and representing clients in a zealous and professional manner. Should their offered services be of need, please contact William N. Griffin Jr. or any of their attorneys at 901-752-1133. They can also be found online at www.gcemlaw.com or on Facebook.
Is it a good time to buy or refi? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Are interest rates going sky high soon? Hi, I'm Ludi Calloway, the mortgage lady at iBank Mortgage. I tell my customers to ask questions, get answers. So join me every Monday morning at 8, and I will tell you what's going on in today's still changing mortgage world. Remember, most people think about mortgages a few times in their lives. I think about them every single day. Tune in Mondays at 8.
Investors or buyers, if you're looking for the best customer service and most competitive rates on a home loan, come to Brighton Bank. They offer a quick approval process, fast closing, and they even finance 85% of purchase price in most cases. At Brighton Bank, they work with every kind of loan, VA, FHA, USDA programs, traditional conventional financing programs, long-term fixed financial, and bridge loans made easy. When it comes to home loans, they mean business. Call them today, 901-758-1740. That's Brighton Bank at 901-758-1740.
All right, guys, I'm here in the studio with Brad Sterling. Brad's been a part of the Memphis Real Estate Hour, but now we're with a new warranty company, Choice Home Warranty. Brad, tell me about it.
Yeah, Dean, Choice has been an industry leader in direct-to-consumer warranty sales. Now they've opened up a brand-new real estate portal. Pricing begins at $420 and goes up to $550 with a low $65 trade call fee. We also have fabulous multi-year pricing, meaning you can get a 5-year warranty for the cost support. Call me at 901-870-2334 for more information.
Thank you, Brad. Choice Home Warranty, we're happy to have them part of the Memphis Real Estate Hour.
Now you can listen and watch too. Go to our website to listen online and see our studio cam, kwamthevoice.com.
All right, welcome back to the Memphis Real Estate Hour. I'm your host, Dean Harris with CrestCore Realty. Little cransberries there, Gil?
A little bit of cranberries.
Right.
I love that song.
I do too. Gil always surprises us in the morning with our 90s hits.
Yeah.
You're not a disc jockey during the day, are you?
No.
For 90, what is that? 96.1s are.
Is that the 90s station? Yeah, no.
Okay, we're going to dive right into 3 deadly sins of real estate investing. I'm in the studio with Dan Butler with CrestCore. Dan, good morning.
Good morning.
A lot of people come to us and they want to know, you know, they don't come to us and say, what are the 3 deadly sins of real estate investing? But they do come to us and say, what are some of the things not to do? We're going to cover 3 main points today that we see that cause people the most stress, problems, failure.
Long term.
Yep.
Maybe not short term, but long term.
Yeah, some of the stuff you might not see right away, but if you're buying and holding real estate for the long term, some of these things here are going to be topics and things you need to look at to prevent yourself from these pitfalls: overpaying, over leveraging, and mismanagement. Those are our 3 deadly sins. Overpaying, over leveraging, and mismanagement. Let's talk about overpaying.
Yep.
We've used this phrase 100 times on this show. We use it 100 times a day with our clients. But buy it right. That's kind of my thoughts on this, and I'm going to let you dive into it too. But it's the most important thing in any investment to me. Any investment opportunity is a good one. Mm-hmm. If it's considered an investment opportunity, it's a good one. Right. If you buy it right.
Right.
Anything like we talk about certain zip codes and certain houses that we don't want to be in, because it's dangerous or because it's a high turnover or whatever it may be. It's a good investment if we buy the property right. You get a property for $5,000 that's occupied, then we want it. So buy it right is extremely important. And then, when we're talking about buying it right, my last note was create your formula of what makes the most sense for you. Mm-hmm. What are you looking for out of your money? How powerful do you want your dollar to be? And then how risky do you want that? That investment to be. Yeah. So buying it right is kind of one of our main focuses.
No, I agree. I think that, you don't want to pay, and it's different from over leveraging. We'll get into that one next. But overpaying is just, if it's worth 60 and you pay 80, or, you know what I mean? Like
it's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple math. But you really got to dig in and figure that out. I mean, we had, we're involved with closing this week that, the appraisals came back at 40 sales price is 40 and the appraisals are 25. Mm-hmm. And the owner was asking me what to do. And I'm like, man, you got to pay no more than what the appraisal is. That just would not be a smart move on your part. So, and then you just got to understand, what your expenses are going to be associated with that. So when you're buying it, right, that the expenses match up. And I like to use the 50% rule. Yeah. Some people use the 35% rule.
It depends for me. My clients, depends on where.
Yeah.
If we're in some of the more challenging zips, then I go 50.
Yeah.
If we're in a good, 118, 115 type, 35 or 40.
40. Yeah.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, if I'm trying to figure that out, I would say, get an appraisal, get a legitimate appraiser to spend that $300-400 and make sure that value, because this is a 15 or 30, depending on who you are, 10, 20, 30 year, investment.
That's right.
You want to spend the $300-400 on the front end and make sure that you're covered.
If you're getting a loan, you have to.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're getting a loan, you don't have a choice.
Yep.
You'll have that appraisal. But if you're paying cash, it can't hurt you.
Yes.
I mean, you know what I mean? And so if it turns out, I'm under, well, congratulations. You're under. You're where you
won.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what we have now that we didn't have when I first started is asking the Bigger Pockets community, asking a mentor, asking your friends, that are already investing in those areas, and what would they pay for it. And, I've been doing it so long that you can tell me any street now, and I kind of tell you, I wouldn't be in it more than 40, or I wouldn't be in more for 50, or that kind of thing.
I'm getting there. I mean, you use comps from your agent. You mentioned talking to mentors, public tools, Truly a Zillow. I mean, those are just another opinion. I don't value. A lot of people in my business, they despise Zillow and Trulia. I don't despise it. It's just another tool. It's another opinion. It's no more valuable to me than if I asked somebody else that owns 20 or 30 rental properties, what do you think? It's the same thing.
I don't know where, this is kind of a tangent, but I don't know where their algorithms got off on their calculations,
Because they're late. It's delayed information.
Is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, they can't keep.
It's older.
It's
data.
older. It takes a week, sometimes 10 days, sometimes for that to update.
Well, one thing that with the buy it right, and this kind of happens with, some of our turnkey friends that we have out there sell it at appraised value or under. Mm-hmm. We had a few that we know out there that sell it above appraised value. And I actually enjoyed this exercise, kind of getting prepared for the show of, you take a house that is worth $80,000, okay, and you pay $100,000 for it because you got somebody that showed you something on paper that thing will return, and they've got all kinds of calculations. And
it's a turnkey model.
Turnkey model.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah, $100,000. You paid $100,000. You put 25% down.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that? $75,000 note.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so it's worth $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
In this example, and I've seen this example, so it's not like this is just pulling out of the air.
I can get it online for you right now.
Yeah, let's don't do that. But what the crazy interesting thing about it was, if you do that model and you say, all right, well, I'm getting, some people justify, well, I'm getting a 5% return, and it's like, yeah, but what if something happens? That's why the real estate's so intriguing to me. With somebody's always dying, somebody's always divorcing, somebody's always, getting sick.
Yep.
There's just life that happens. Kids graduate, they need money for something. There's always kind of some I need to move quick because my job, whatever. There's all kinds of reasons. So all that to say, in a 15-year note model, to get your money back if you overpay, for example, above appraisal, it takes 5 years to pay that down to where you break even.
Okay, hang on. I want everybody to pay attention.
Yeah.
If you've fallen asleep, this is your wake up chance. Pay attention to what he's saying right here on the 15-year note versus the 30-year. He's using an example of a $100,000 house with $25,000 down payment.
That's worth $80,000.
That's worth $80,000, which happens every day here, unfortunately. $100,000 house, it's worth $80,000. You put $25,000 down, you got a $75,000 note. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. So in 15-year note, which, you and I follow that kind of model. We love our investors have 15-year notes, not 30.
Yep.
30 is just too long, know, and if you're having to make an investment work on a 30-year note,
you maybe should look at
it again. So all that to say, on a 30-year note, if you put in this model, say that $100,000 house is $1,200 rent, $75,000 note on a mortgage up $75,000 on a 30-year amortization. It takes 13 years
to get that money back.
To get your money to where you break even. And I should probably put several thousand for closing costs and
You haven't put
commissions.
any of that money in.
I just put your basis.
Yep.
You know, so now this does assume that zero appreciation. So I probably should redo that and put in 2% a year or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, that's a huge.
It's a
huge maybe.
Huge maybe, but so I guess we've always said 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now I'm gonna start saying 5 to 13 years, depending on what your amortization schedule. On average 7 to 8 years before. If you're not gonna sell it in 7 to 8 years, you're probably okay.
But how do you? That's kind of what you just said. Life happens. I mean, car accidents. You need cash. I mean, whatever it could be, stuff happens.
Yeah, so that's one thing we see a lot of that come to us wanting to help sell, and we just can't help them because they overpaid on their investment, and until what Wendy was talking about, until we have retail buyers able to pay more, and banks willing to lend, which that banks are starting to open up, so which hopefully that'll all play out, but until that happens, you're stuck selling it to another investor at this moment.
And even if it does happen, Dan, I'm concerned with there being a tenant in there for 10 years and the amount of work you have to do to get it to be back to a retail ready.
That's true.
So Dan's not as open or as forward about this as I am, but it's a turnkey model is what we're talking against here. There's a lot of turnkey products here in town. They'll sell you a house for $100,000, 25 down. You got 75 on an $80,000 house. So we've got reputable turnkey people here. I'm not bashing the turnkey.
Yeah, just
product.
make sure that doesn't go above appraisal is what I would say. That's my big.
That's right.
My big takeaway. Turnkey's awesome. I just think that you don't want to, and it could be a non-turnkey. You could be buying on your own.
Yeah.
And you go into a retail neighborhood and an agent, just finds you a house, doesn't really understand cost and expenses, and it looks like a great house. And all of a sudden, you've overpaid for that investment. So that's what you got to watch out for.
We're covering the 3 deadly sins of real estate investing today. I'm live in the studio with Dan Butler with CrestCore Realty. We just gave you an example of overpaying. I'm sorry, we haven't gotten overpaying for the property. And if you're interested on the alternative for this, we did a show 2 weeks ago on the turnkey alternative. It's on the show's Facebook page, the Memphis Real Estate Hour on Facebook. Go and check that show out. We talked about the turnkey alternative. So this is not the only way to buy property for sure, but it's one example that we wanted to give you.
Yeah.
Okay, over leveraging. Let's talk about that, Dan. What do people do? How to avoid it? What are some of the examples of? I mean, I've seen it happen, but I mean, in your opinion, what is the first mistake people make with over leveraging?
So this really, really happened a lot in the early 2000s leading up to the crash, 08, 9, and 10.
Mm-hmm.
There was people out there that preached, and had a model of you buy a property and, say you bought it for 40, put 10 in it, 50, it appraised for 80, which is great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they get, 85% or 80% of 80. And now you got $64,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you pulled out $14,000 on your investment, when you could have been in it for 50. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You got your 40 plus your 10 rehab, you're at 50, but then you took the appraisal, you got 14 more out, and you used that cash to go buy a boat, fix your house.
Or even buy another rental.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, I could probably make an argument to buy another rental. That might make some sense. But, what happened was when the crash happened, banks stopped lending. Those notes worked at $50,000. This is where people messed up, and this is where I'll caution our listeners, just get your loan on the minimum you can get the loan. Mm-hmm. When you start taking money out and using it, you can justify it in your head all you want, but what happened was in 08, 9, and 10 when the bank stopped lending, your note was $64,000 on, say, an $800 rental. All of a sudden, you didn't have enough money to pay the maintenance. Your property taxes got behind.
You're losing
every
day.
In the calculations, it looks like you kind of break even, maybe lose a little bit, but you're like, but I got $14,000, and if I do that 10 times a year, I've made money.
But
you're living off borrowed money. So over leveraging is a huge killer that we see a lot that's happened in the past, and we try to steer, steer's not the right word, coach our investors, not to do that model. Try to put some money down. And just get that note as low as you can get it, to make your cash flow as best you can make it. So,
and also here too, I mean, some of our notes are still run your deals by the real estate community. I mean, your best advice or your best information is going to come from other experienced investors. Mm-hmm. Now, you need to ask more than one. Ask a variety of different people, your mentors, whoever it may be, and then learn, of course, to run the analysis of these numbers. Learn how to run your figures, your idea of what you want. I'm getting it to where now, Dan, most of my investors are coming to me with a spreadsheet and they're saying, "Hey, can you find houses that match this?"
Yeah.
I'm not even
more sophisticated.
Much more sophisticated. I'm not even having to sit down with them and come up with any type of formulas or programs for them. They've already got it. We're live in the studio this morning talking 3 deadly sins of real estate investing. I've got Dan Butler here in the studio. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll come back, and we're going to finish up with mismanagement. So the 3 deadly sins we're talking about this morning: overpaying, over-leveraging, and mismanagement. We'll hit mismanagement here when we come back. You're listening to the Memphis Real Estate Hour on the new FM 107.9 The Voice.
Voice for the Mid-South, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Now here's the Mid-South weather from the News Channel 3 Severe Weather Center, brought to you by Gossa Kia on Covington Pike, family owned and operated.
Continued mostly sunny and hot. Temperatures in the low and mid-90s. Heat index values near 100. Light southerly winds. We'll see temperatures in the mid-90s with heat index values over 100 for the next several days. Is your air conditioner struggling to keep up? Don't wait until it becomes overwhelming. Have Air and Heat Service check your home's cooling system. Call 662-838-8088. 662-838-8088. I'm News Channel 3's Todd Demers on The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
All right, guys, I'm here in the studio with Brad Sterling. Brad's been a part of the Memphis Real Estate Hour, but now we're with a new warranty company, Choice Home Warranty. Brad, tell me about it.
Dean, Choice has been an industry leader in direct-to-consumer warranty sales. Now they've opened up a brand new real estate portal. Pricing begins at $420 and goes up to $550 with a low $65 trade call fee. We also have fabulous multi-year pricing, meaning you can get a 5-year warranty for the cost of 4. Call me at 901-870-2334 for more information.
Thank you, Brad. Choice Home Warranty, we're happy to have them part of the Memphis Real Estate Hour. Proxbox provides a unique solution for set of problems for real estate agents. The Proxbox solution provides a downloadable app for the agent and any prospective buyers. When the buyer visits the house, all the valuable information that the agent entered is available to the buyer. Getting the information to the buyers quicker means faster turnaround time for sales. Proxbox is the app that keeps selling and sets you apart from other agents. See how Proxbox can help you by visiting proxbox.me.
Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer, PLLC, is a full-service law firm with over 50 years of experience in the Memphis area. Real estate closings have continued to be the forefront of their law practice, which include residential, commercial, and development real estate transactions, drafting and negotiation of real estate contracts and leases, business information, preparation of wills, probate, and estate planning. Their firm represents a number of builders, developers, investors, and local lending institutions, and is approved to close transactions for most local banks and mortgage companies. In addition, they offer title search, title examination services, and title insurance through several well-established title insurance companies in the Memphis area, as well as Tennessee and Mississippi. They strive to offer services in a prompt and timely fashion, while advising and representing clients in a zealous and professional manner. Should their offered services be of need, please contact William N. Griffin Jr. or any of their attorneys at 901-752-1133. They can also be found online at www.gcemlaw.com or on Facebook.
Is it a good time to buy or refi? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Are interest rates going sky high soon? Hi, I'm Ludi Calloway, the mortgage lady at iBank Mortgage. I tell my customers to ask questions, get answers. So join me every Monday morning at 8 and I will tell you what's going on in today's still changing mortgage world. Remember, most people think about mortgages a few times in their lives. I think about them every single day. Tune in Mondays at 8.
Investors or buyers, if you're looking for the best customer service and most competitive rates on a home loan, come to Brighton Bank. They offer a quick approval process, fast closing, and they even finance 85% of purchase price in most cases. At Brighton Bank, they work with every kind of loan, VA, FHA, USDA programs, traditional conventional financing programs, long-term fixed financial, and bridge loans made easy. When it comes to home loans, they mean business. Call them today, 901-758-1740. That's Brighton Bank at 901-758-1740.
KWAM, streaming live at kwamthevoice.com.
All right, welcome back to the Memphis Real Estate Hour. I'm your host, Dean Harris. I'm with CrestCore Realty, and we are talking. We've got Dan Butler here in the studio. He's with CrestCore as well, one of the co-founders. We're talking about the 3 deadly sins of real estate investing this morning. We have talked about overpaying, over-leveraging. In this last segment here, we're going to talk about mismanagement. Yeah. Big topic for us. Our company manages 2,700 houses. Is that about right?
All right.
It's one thing that's a hot topic for us, and we're going to finish the show with it. We're going to talk about the rest of the show, but mismanagement. It's extremely important to us for our clients because we do manage. We're not just selling houses and telling them good luck. It's
right.
We've talked about our turnkey alternative program that involves all segments and all parts of investing and buying a rental home. Mismanagement is something that I see not from our end. I see it from the client's end, meaning they choose not to do this upgrade or repair, or they choose to wait and do this or something. What are some of the, what does it mean to you when you talk to somebody about, oh, that property was mismanaged, or we mismanaged, if we're taking ownership in something that we did wrong, or what does mismanagement mean to you when you hear that?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that it's not blocking and tackling on the basics, between leasing, collections, maintenance, accounting, and part of that stems, it's funny, because I used to manage my own technically,
sure.
For years and years and years. And I think that until I made the separation of myself from the tenant, had a degree of separation, I can make more objective decisions.
Yes.
And I think that's probably the biggest piece of advice, whether you manage yourself or manage through someone like us, even if you're managing for yourself, I would figure out some way of having a degree of separation so that you can have objective. Does that make sense? Like,
what he means by that is don't fall for the, oh, my baby's sick and I can't.
That's right. Collections is huge.
Yeah. Leasing,
same thing. Like if your house is vacant and somebody comes to you with a special deal, I made this mistake 10 years ago where, hey, I'll come in and fix the house up. You don't have to worry about it. Just don't charge me a deposit or first month's rent. Oh, wow, that sounds pretty good, And
right.
So I do it, and then all of a sudden, they don't pay the second month, or they don't pay the third month.
And now the house is in worse shape.
They actually never did the work, and now I got to restart over, and I lost 2 months of my life and the potential rent. So that's probably the biggest thing is just, and then just depending on who you use or yourself, just having systems in place for leasing and maintenance and collections accounting. I think that's huge.
It's human nature to be compassionate, and it's also human nature on the other end to take advantage of compassion. It just happens.
Right.
So
that's right.
It's human nature for people to be compassionate. It's also on the flip side of that, it's human nature for people to take advantage of that. So what Dan is saying is you've got to separate yourself from that tenant, from their life, from their either real life or fake life or whatever story that they're giving you. You've got to make sure that you're treating this like a business. Now, if you're renting to your grandmother, maybe you listen to her story about her medicine. But if you're running a business and you got 20 or 30 houses out there, you cannot, in my opinion, you should not manage those yourself. Or at least you shouldn't handle the occupancy part of it. Get them occupied, collecting the rent. I mean, you just set yourself up unless you're just steal all the way. You've got no compassion, no whatsoever. Then maybe you can. But I mean, if you've got any type of sympathy whatsoever in you, I don't think it's the right thing to do.
And then to parlay on that, as far as from the objective piece, and then going into just the standard operating procedures. Let's go into leasing, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I've had investors call me that they kind of want to manage themselves or kind of want us to do part of it, and their big thing is they're leasing. They've got a full-time job, and they've got 20 calls, and they didn't call but one or two of them back. You know what I mean? So, their systems aren't set up to handle getting it leased. So then, guess what?
It slips.
It slips, and lease takes longer and longer. And I had this same thing on getting rent readies. Do you have a process? Do you have a way to a reliable? And I would challenge everybody: licensed, bonded, insured contractors. I had a client in my office last week that he came to us. His house has been vacant. 3 of them been vacant since January, and he hadn't been able to get them rented. But yet, wanted to turn them over to us. Was worried about the cost and this and that for a couple $100 that he could have saved by using the guy on a truck. And I'm like, I can't compete against a guy with no insurance and no workers' comp and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But here it is 6 months later. You haven't got a dime out of 3 houses. I could have had those done in a week, back in January, and you've had 4 or 5 months worth of rent collections.
There's mismanagement.
That's mismanagement.
That to me is
if the bank's still wanting their notes, he's paying those notes. If he didn't have another job, then to pay those notes behind.
That's just made me think. Or do banks mandate property management companies for investors?
They're actually starting to more and more, especially the local banks. I don't know about national, but the local banks, they learned their lesson through the downturn.
And the hard way.
Because of the mismanagement piece. So what happened when that over-leverage piece happened and overpaying or whatever, then they let the property tax go.
Yep.
Then they let the maintenance go.
Yep.
And then the note started going. You know what I mean? So it just.
And then by the time the bank gets it back, it's a piece of crap.
The house has been trashed. That tenant hadn't been there 6 months. Now it needs gas and electrical inspection.
Yeah.
Yada yada. On and on.
That's
and on.
mismanagement.
That's mismanagement.
To me, that is the classic example right there of mismanagement. I got 10 or 11 houses. I'm trying to save a couple $100 a month on the management costs and expenses because you have the expenses. Either way,
right.
If the toilet goes bad, it goes bad if the property manager got it or if you got it. So what you're really only saving is that percentage of your monthly rent. And if it's 10 houses, 800, or talking 80, I mean, you're talking, a few $100. And to have somebody handle this for you, that to me is a classic sign of mismanagement. Let's talk about create an objective separation between you and your tenants, make better decisions, ensure that people you work with are licensed, bonded. You just went over some of that. Make sure all your bills are paid first before paying yourself. Number one mistake. Talk about that for a minute before we go.
Yeah, either have a plan one way or the other. Like the banks don't like to see now, especially somebody that says I'm quitting my job, I'm going to do real estate investing, and that's going to be my full-time job. I'm going to live. Here's my notes. They're going to show a little big spreadsheet. I'm going to make. I'm going to have 20 houses paying me $200 each a month. With my notes involved and everything else. And so I would just challenge our audience to have a plan. I've been doing this since 2001, and I'm just now starting to pay things off. So and in that time I've had roofs go out, I've had fires, I've had tree damage, I've had all kinds of things that you need that money to pay for those big expenses. So I would just challenge everybody not to try to live off that until it's paid off. And then be conservative on that. Have an escrow account to set up, money on the side to be able to pay for those things. So that's the biggest thing that I see is people, mismanaging it from the standpoint of trying to, again, for an example, not using a licensed and insured person.
Yeah.
I used to use that guy, all right? But guess what? They were there the next month and the next month for the same issue.
Same stuff.
And so we've lost, we try to fix that when we knew with our management. And then just that degree of separation.
Yeah.
And then lastly, pay all your bills first. I mean, that's
that
huge.
seems pretty self-explanatory.
Well,
Guys,
yeah.
we've covered the 3 deadly sins of real estate investing this morning. We have gone over overpaying, over-leveraging, mismanagement. If you've got any questions about this, give me a call, 901-619-6170. You can tune into the show's Facebook page as well, and you can see the show later. I'll post it up on the show's Facebook page. Dan, thanks for being with me this morning. Gil, thanks for tuning in, chiming in for me this morning. I appreciate that.
Good stuff from Wendy.
That's right. Good stuff from Wendy. You're listening to the Memphis Real Estate Hour on the new FM 107.9, The Voice.
This is The Voice KWAM Memphis. Online at KWAM990.com.
CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. The White House and Senate Republican leaders are turning to Plan B now that their health care bill has gone down in flames.